Hey, I'm Scott Woodward. I'm two-time Moscone Cup MVP, and you're watching Railbirds TV.
Well, hello everyone. This is Jeremy Jones with Railbirds TV. It's a 2020 Derby City Classic one pocket match, and a classic match it is between two of the game's greatest, Evan Lunda and Tony Chohan. Tony enters round 5 here with a loss. Evan Lunda still undefeated. An all-important lag here. Pretty good lags by both players, and I'm sure both guys have been playing really well. You can see Tony Chohan with 3 nice wins to start, and then an unfortunate loss in round 4, but nothing to be upset about, losing to Alex Pagaline. And Evan Lunda with 4 nice wins, topping it off in the 4th round with Alex Olinger, another great player from Ohio. Expect a very entertaining match here between these two. Educational match. One of the main tournament sponsor here, Diamond Billiard Products. Thanks for all they do. And if you need something, go look at that Billiard Shopping Network. Evan Lunda said one that nearly freezing the ball to the rail with a nice lag, but a kid that's really come a long ways in the last couple years, played a lot of great players, and has really elevated his game. Tony Chohan, who's been a great one pocket player for some time, got some options here with, the 13 appears to be fairly close to the hole, but it's workable where the side rail you can get somewhere and not give up a shot. Got to worry about maybe a long railer on the 6. I'm surprised he'll come off this ball unless he's worried about that ball. Now, is he looking at double banking this or doing something really fancy here going into the 13 with the cue ball? Looks to me like the 4 may even bank at the hole just with a high ball going into the 6 with the cue ball. Maybe the 12's even better. Yeah, he overdrew the cue ball, and that's going to hurt. He really wanted him in the stack there. Don't think he gave up a shot on the 14. Was that the 15? That's the 15, excuse me. Maybe he did. That would be a big mistake from a situation that was very doable. I like the shot he was playing, actually. You could see if he could planted the cue ball on top of that 3, how effective that shot would be. Oh, Evan's got options. I'm not sure he can cross this 11 without scratching off of the 9. Is it the 9 ball there? No, that's the 14, excuse me. He could beat the scratch here. He moves the 14 out of the way a little bit. Takes a pretty good path at that 13 ball, and I think he can maybe still play the cue ball up the side rail near the 10. May have to catch a little on the thin side, but that's okay. Oh, he played it with just a high ball, and it got away from him a little bit. He wanted to plant him on the back side of the 14, and I think you're going to see Tony Chohan go ahead and shoot at this one. And don't be fooled like you have to draw into the 6 so perfectly. You can run the cue ball into the upper corner, opposite corner, and still hold shape on a long 14 or 10 and make it pretty tough on Evan as far as shooting at his pocket. I think Tony's supposed to go at this 11 here. All right, he's going to play the 13 back into the 7-ish, something like that, laying the cue ball on the side rail behind the 11. Oh, he caught the 11. The cue ball is going to get away from him. No, what a shot. Very much intended, banking that 13 into the 11. And you notice one thing about Tony that you can always learn something from is it's not so much the shots all the time, it's the way he hits them. You'll notice how, excuse me, he didn't overhit that at all. A lot of people really, when they're banking a ball back into another, they really crash it with a lot of speed, or at least too much speed. Whereas Tony still plays it very controlled and cue ball emphasis, which was perfect here. Can't quite get at the 11. You could see the 6 over the side pocket. If he could shoot the 11 somehow, it wouldn't be that bad. I may roll this, making sure I hit the 2 very full and not selling out. I wouldn't get too aggressive here unless he's going to hit it with a lot of speed, like that. Maybe the 5 comes up, but I think that was just a lot to ask for, maybe. And, you know, both these guys are great 9-ball players, but you wouldn't label them as the, you know, the best out there, but this is one area that they both excel in playing this game, that's for sure, is running balls. He's got pretty perfect on a 12 ball, I think, that goes that he can draw off of and open those 3 balls near the spot. I think it's actually perfect. See how he can't get a shot opening the 1. Maybe is he going to shoot this combination instead? Combination, though, the one thing is this isn't like a one you make more often, I don't think, anyways. Quite some separation. Yeah, and he's giving up a bank on the 12 possibly. So it's surprised he didn't shoot the 12 there and kind of just soft draw off of that and take his chances on those balls opening. Don't believe he would have not got a shot. Tony's playing this 12 to, he played off the stack again. Good speed with the cue ball. Now those 3 balls doubled up on the side rail, that's going to hurt. It's not going to take much time for Evan to go immediately at this 11 ball. Okay, now Tony will play off the 12 probably. May do something a little different with the 6. Could do something with the 6, and Tony's very good at that. I'd like to bury, I think the 6 is always going to be there. I'd like to bury the cue ball one time here and see what Evan does. Okay, he did pretty well overall. Really well, actually. Now, can Evan play the 11 here? Can he play the 11? He's not going to get shape, I don't think. I think, wow, it's surprising he didn't look at even playing the 11. A kiss shot. I think he doesn't get shape with it, but Tony's just going to concede this 11 ball, which is totally correct in my opinion. Then a nice position. Ooh. There you can't worry about fouling. The guy calls a foul on you. He's got to spot a ball up. Tony did foul anyways, so. And a double jeopardy there for Tony. Left the shot on the 11 and has to spot one, which is going to play shape for Evan, I believe. That's a nice starter. Real smart one. I think getting that first shot after getting a shot, getting that run started cleanly. Don't try to break balls up. Move the cue ball simply as you can. Now he's gotten a little steep. He's got to float the rock or let it go and try and get up high. So we'll see. Very difficult to come. All right, he decided to go 4 rails. I think that's pretty good speed and pretty good judgment, really. Oh, Evan will shoot the 11 ball. Drawn into the 6. Okay, held for the 1. Things are going to get a little hairy here now. He may have to make a decision on the 6 bank right now. And the good thing about this bank is a lot of times you want to go ahead and get that other ball, but this one he could really play safe with as well. So there was no real chance of giving up the game by banking at 1 rather than securing the 1 ball and going from there. So Evan Lunda, who won the lag, is also going to win game 1. Talked about it to open this match. Tony Chohan took a loss in the last round to Alex Pagulayan. So playing for his tournament life here in round 5, and from here on, if he continues and comes back to win this match, only trailing 1-0 though. Pretty nice hit there on the break. Evan immediately looking at how playable the 3-ball is. The way he may be kicking and coming across this ball, going up table with the cue ball possibly. Let's have good speed here though. Yeah, he's going to give up the 1, I think. And give up the 3 for sure. Caught a little thick. I like the shot though. The 11 it may have gotten in a funny position where maybe Tony can't get by it. Okay, so he played it hard. And really has taken away his advantage of the break in one shot in an unfortunate manner. Now Tony's pretty creative. He'd probably play the 7 back off the 12 and play the cue ball behind the 8 maybe. I don't know. That looks pretty playable to me. He's just going to clear some balls, or is he's banking at the 8. Wow. Great shot. Just in total disregard of his opponent's pocket. And really, if you're going to shoot it, that's probably the best mind frame to have. Okay, Tony's pretty open now, and he's got a 2-11 combination that looks playable. He can't break him out. Can't afford a miss, though. Yeah, this may have gotten to where it's even still playable because he nudged the 2 a little bit better position from shooting below it. But I'll tell you, if he hadn't, that lonely old 1 ball on his side right there. But the 2-11's got to be playable. If it's not playable from here, it's got to be playable from the end rail. He's going to play off the 11. Watch out. Okay. Tony only has 4, I tell you. What's it worth to just roll the 11 and just put the cue ball on top of that 15 ball up there on the end rail? You know, you're leaving a long shot on the 1, but sells out. The 11, the cue ball goes into the 8. I don't think that's much of a shot. Now, he may shoot the 8 on you, but I think if I'm Evan here, I might challenge Tony. Maybe not. Maybe you just shoot straight through the 2 and follow over to the side rail and see what Tony does. Like that. Now you let him see a little bit more, so Tony will probably play off the 8, banking the 8 back over on his side, dropping the cue ball to the bottom rail and underneath the 9, I think. I think that's the safest shot to get a ball on your side and really secure the cue ball. Now he played a little thinner. I would have liked to have gotten that ball on my side, but cue ball is the most important. You taking a foul here? Okay, pretty smart shot. The reason why you do that, and especially in his position, that being Evan, is Tony can't really hit anything hard away. So even though Tony can bring him back similar position, maybe he lets the cue ball have a little room where Evan can possibly get him up table in a tough spot. I think Evan should have maybe looked at doing that last shot, but Evan knows he really doesn't want these balls to get knocked away. 4-0's not so bad, but the main reason is they're sitting in a pretty decent position for him here. If he can get the cue ball up table somehow safely without leaving one that Tony's just definitely going to shoot at and most likely make. I'd like to still put him, I think, right on that. I might kick 1 rail at that. Is that the 14 up there, 15 up on the middle of the end rail there? I think just softly kick at that ball, I think. That's where I would like to have gotten him last time, and you can get him jacked up, then I think that's a pretty smart shot. I mean, I think you're supposed to keep pressure on Tony. You get him elevated over something that he wants to shoot at, well, he might make a mistake just like anybody else. You'd think, oh, he's just going to soft move the 14 here. Yeah, but that could give you a little error with the cue ball where you could do it, put heat on him again. So I think the pretty smart shot there by Evan Lunda, in my opinion. Tony should just softly move this, trying not to let him see the 1 or the 11. Okay, he moved it with a little more speed, okay? And the thing is, when you do that, there's nothing totally wrong with that because he moved a couple away at least. But also, you're not sure where you're moving them all the time, so you got to be careful of that. And you're exposing the balls on your side, which is definitely going to get addressed if it's even. So again, Tony's got to be very careful when you don't have many on your side, even with a 4-0 lead. You got to be willing to take your time getting the balls out of there. And here he's in a funny spot. Can't quite go off the 11 and dodge the 12 and drop to the side rail and then the end rail and knock the 11 on his side. That would be a nice play. Got to look at something else, and he's got to be careful doing it. Yeah, I'm not sure what I would shoot here. Possibly. May look at an up table double up here, but the 12's just sticking out too much. Tony's trying to sweep some balls, draw the side rail and over. Pretty good. Pretty good, but again, nothing started on your side, right? So you can't predict something's going to end up on your side, even though you're crashing into balls. But there's value there because you're moving some balls up table also, trying to protect that little bit of a lead you have. Now, it looks like everything fell a little funny, meaning there's no real clean bank alleys to not only make one, but to put Tony in a trap. So if you're Evan, I think you keep it simple here. Try and find that nice place for the cue ball again to make things tough. Okay, he's going to get that ball down there, and another smart move because good chance this maybe the 7 blocks the 2 or makes it difficult. Yeah, so he can see the 12. He's putting him underneath the 2, but nothing's going on his side. So he's got to hit it well not to sell out like this. He may have overhit it. So that was kind of like, can't win with it, can't do much with it, but I can certainly lose. Does he not be able to cut this 2 ball in? He's awfully close to it, and Evans spins the ball really well. This is surprising. Maybe he's not seeing it. And he's just exposing the 2 ball, so. Laying it on the rail, though, which is important. Because Tony doesn't want the cue ball to come up much, so that means the 2's not going to be able to get moved too far. No. He's going to lay on top of it real lightly. Well, Tony's going to remove some balls now, I believe. Well, he shoots away from the 14, draws to the side rail back over. That way you can put a little speed on it with the cueing. I don't think he'll shoot straight into it. I think he'll draw off of this ball. No, he's shooting more straight into it. I'd check the 2-railer on the 12, I think. And maybe you can't beat hitting the 7, but if you can get up by that 1 ball with the cue ball, I think a lot doesn't go for Tony. Maybe I'll 2-rail the 12 by the 6 and the 8, and then on the other side of the 2 back at your hole. It's close. Don't really see a long rail bank alley for the 11 or the 13. Gonna roll the cue ball out. Nothing wrong with that, really, especially he owes one, so one's going to come on the spot. Tony's going to have to shoot away in a dangerous little touchy spot. I think pretty smart overall. I mean, this is one of the scenarios you would do something like this. When you're behind in the ball count, but your opponent's not like needing 1. Do that in that situation also, but quite possibly anyways, but definitely when the balls are still laying in your advantage, you can still get a lot if you get a shot, and Tony's can't really escape with the cue ball too easily. Does the 11 twist back? No, the 10 does, but still not great. 9 maybe? Combination 2, bank combination 2 reeler 8-6 doesn't look horrible. Need to cut the 8 a hair, it looks like, to the good side to where the cue ball goes towards that chalk on the long rail. And the first diamond doesn't look bad. I don't wonder if the 11 twists back now between the 13 and the 7. It's close, I think. Okay, I'm not sure what he's shooting at exactly. Looks like the combination 2 reeler. He's leaving him a long straight shot on the 2, which Tony's going to shoot at some kind of way. Probably just roll it in and try and hold for the bank on the 6. I don't think he can really sell out much. You have to hit it really to the bottom rail and up on the side rail to sell out. Now looks like he's going to address it and put a little speed here. Wow, what a hit. What a hit there. The deep shelved diamonds, tough tables. Play good though. So Evans got to shoot here. Bury the 12, get on the 6, try and move the cue ball around for the 7 or the 10, possibly the 11 or the 13. Hit it pretty well, and he got a little flat here to get on one of those 4 balls I was talking about. But still may be worth the try. Probably top inside. I don't know, it's close. You can go back with the cue ball or forward, but that flat angle, usually you would go with top here. But didn't get there, so Tony's going to need 3. One of them's coming on the spot. Really stalled that ball with a lot of English. Not so sure. I think he's still going to cut at the 12, but the cue ball goes behind the 7 and the 10, so possibly not. Yeah, probably just take his where he needs to and go from there. Just give up this 6 ball, I believe. Don't think this is worth it. So now Evans drawn even. Not much to do here. Probably roll on the 8 some kind of way. All the cross corners look doubled up. And got a little thin, so maybe he gives up a 2 reeler here if Tony wanted it, but it's giving up a lot of shots, so probably not. Tony might play off the balls on the spot. Could just kiss the, I might just kiss the 7 and slide down to this end rail here. I think your bank alleys will be covered up when the 7 hits the 10 a little bit. Kind of keeps those alleys covered and just come down to the end rail with the cue ball. And he's looking at something else, a 2 reeler of some sort, I believe. And if he doesn't have good speed here, Evan's definitely going to shoot the 7, but good speed there by Tony. Maybe Evan banks the 1. Like I say, he may cut the 7 as well. Back and forth for position. I mean, if you're going to shoot it, you want to try and get on the 10, 11, or 13, I believe. Got it a little heavy. Gonna get a little bump here for ball number 8 in game number 2? Nope. So Tony will have to wait. Evan's going to get on the board here, though. Now I'll have that bank he was talking about. Cue ball. See what it does when he banks this 11. May catch the 13, go towards the 8. May scratch off the back of the 8. Okay, he hit it pretty nice there. I was going to say, it looked like it kind of fell on a kiss. I think Tony can hit it with just a high ball and cross it to his side, coming back to the center of the end rail. You going to try and just get by it? Yeah, that's what he's doing with a lot of outside English. That's a nice shot. Cue ball in the center of the end rail, which is going to keep a lot of banks from being possible. How's Tony want to take on this 10? A little dangerous always because the 2 balls on the spot. Got to go pretty near him to make it. And he wanted to make sure, well, he put a lot of effort in that, bringing the cue ball instead of across the table. Put some draw into that to make sure he got a pinch on the cue ball, not giving up a shot on the 11. Is he one reeling this 13 here? It's another one of those guys really feel they can be accurate, meaning a chance of making it, 7 out of 10, something like that, 6 out of 10, maybe. I don't know. I don't think he can get down as low with the cue ball as he might feel like he can, as far as like if he misses, he gets somewhat safe. But I think really to make it, you get the cue ball just a little past the side is all. And he hit it high. That's going to give up game number 2, entire match at 1 apiece. Evan Lunda will be breaking in game number 3. Please like and subscribe. Both guys break into opposite pockets so far. Real nice hit there, it sounded like. And again, talked about it during these tournament matches. Seems like the cue ball doesn't want to get up so, easily, it seems like, behind the stack. Tony's got a cross corner. He's going to follow his cue ball, it looks like. Wow, what a shot. Definitely knowing he's taking a chance going into that ball, trying to remove it. He's got another one he can stiff in here, maybe even get on the 11. I think he did. Possibly the 11 didn't go, though. He brought the cue ball up like it did, though, because he could have held below and banked the 11. Okay, Evan's trying to see if he can cut the 7 on the 13 and let the 13 bank the 12 back towards his pocket, maybe, something like that. Okay, he's just going to edge this and run it. Just edge the 7 ball, I think, and go to the upper right corner. Upper left if you're looking at your screen. Okay, Tony might 2-reel this out of his pocket, maybe. No, He just played it lightly. Thought he might cut it a lot and try and catch the 4 to hold the cue ball. Done pretty well, though. He's making things tough on Evan. Two rail the 9, maybe. Just kind of play the cue ball over safe. Tony's eyeing up this 5 ball, and he's elevating a little bit, so this is going to go into the stack. Notice he didn't kill it, though, and things didn't have to, but he's still got a nice spread on it. One good things about that is open up, but not too much, and also how much better you do with the cue ball when you just hit a little more control. Hey, Evan. And had a long railer on the 9. Talked about it at the beginning of this match. I think probably two of, top 7 or 8 one-pocket players in the world probably right here, maybe. Of course, Tony's got that recognition for sure, and I think Evan's right there with him. These guys have played a lot through the years against each other. Tony residing in Detroit for some time, and Evan being from that area. And you're really surveying what he can do here. Got some safety options. Getting behind the 9 isn't that hard off the 8 for these guys, and he can be pretty aggressive with it. He may be putting a little more speed on something here. Oh, that's a nice shot there. Very well done. That's going to turn tides a little bit. Have Tony on the run a little bit here. Tony may force this ball into the rail and try and get at the 7 ball maybe. Quite possibly. He's in a touchy spot trying to continue down this little pattern they're on. He's going to go softly at the 14. That's going to give up the 1, though. Unless he gets behind the 14. Which he may have done. I think he did do. What a shot. This is another one of those staring old Evan right in the face, this 9 ball bank. I think he can shove the ball towards the 3 here, too, if he wanted. And still be very accurate with the bank, kind of leaving Tony kind of funny on that 1 ball. May just hold right there. We'll see. He went forward. But the thing about forward is, are you getting shape on anything on a bank that you're making a lot of the time? I understand trying to leave Tony tough. But if you go shove it towards the 3 ball, well, now you have an angle to come across with inside English. And so it's just one of those banks. Still wasn't a bad shot. What if he hangs it? He's got Tony in a horrible spot. So, 4 off the 3. It look like he can get saved too, because the 1's going to be moving, I think. Have any chance? He's got to hit it with a high ball and a medium into light high ball too. And if he hits it very hard, I think it might kiss in off the 7 maybe. But I'd look at the 1 ball cross corner. Is that bank into the 2 and just ignore what everything else is doing? Go straight up into that upper left corner again with the cue ball. Look at the scramble shot on the 3 and the 12, holding the cue ball right there. Do you send both those balls towards your hole, maybe? I guess there's a little angle on the 14 to drop a position on the 7. We'll see. Hard one to shoot at to just get one though, excuse me. And he caught the wrong side of it. Tony's got a cut shot on the 6th or a combination on the 13-11. He's definitely shooting at one of them. Don't think he's playing a 2-way here. And he can cue the 13-11 as well. And it's natural to come back one rail for position and a little bit of a safety anyways, because you figure him to hit it pretty accurate. Yeah. Tony has such a great touch for a big man. Say it like that, but it seems like a lot of times the big guys have the great touch. Okay, that's all right, because the 2 goes. Thing about that is he was trying to go into the 6 there, and if he'd have caught the 6 halfway heavy, he may not have got a shot at all. He may have come over there behind the 1, and I think it was kind of good he didn't catch that ball if you're Tony. I think you can manufacture a lot more with just a couple balls on the table than you think, just like there. So I tell these guys all the time, and or at least the ones that work with a lot or have helped, that even the great players, just stay on top of your game and improve your game. You got to think a little more detailed at times. That's how you really improve. Kind of a no panic kind of mode also. Easier said than done, but Tony, ooh, wow. I wonder if Tony knew he needed 1, if he just leveled out and pocketed that ball. Still in a great spot to win this game, but it wouldn't surprise me if he got down to where there were only 2 or 3 balls left when he got back to the table. Say, yeah, he got it down, but I guess maybe he didn't have a shot at the ball hanging. Maybe he was a little too far behind it to hold position, maybe, or something like that. That's going to leave a funny position shot as well. Little thin on the 4. Nice shot there. I get him a perfect angle on the 3 to that's the 5 to travel a couple rails to get behind the 14. And I'll tell you what else may end up being played here is that shot I was talking about a minute ago on the 3 and the 12, where you scramble both balls towards your hole. You get down there in a good spot. I think they both kind of go that way. You can really play the 12 towards your pocket. Probably just comes across for the long rail bank, but say he had fallen straight on this 14 or something. Caught this a little thick. He's not even going to get to keep the 14, but still nice shooting to get back in this game for Evan Lunda. All right, he can get up underneath it, or he can cross it. Oh, he's banking it with outside English. Watch out for the corner where he's standing. Talking about that cue ball. A dangerous position here for Evan. I might bank this twice up and down. It lays good to follow the cue ball around table. Maybe you get the 4th rail and get him behind the 12. Yeah, this is going to give up possibly a 1 railer for if this ball lays funny over the side. Okay, not bad. He could still bank the 3 if he wanted. Excuse me. Yeah, that shot there is a dangerous one. When it's that tight to the side pocket, you don't really have much angle to create much angle getting into a rail real quick. The side's kind of where you want to hit the ball to make it go towards your pocket. A nice long shot there from Evan, smoothed it in. Yeah, I think he has a choice on either ball to bank. Probably the 12. 12 leads more towards being able to win the game, and I think the bank sits a little better also. And he shot the 3 and he double kissed it. All right, Tony Chohan with the cross corner. The wind game 3 and take a lead in breaking in game 4. Hit it well. Oof. He may get to the bottom rail and kiss this towards its hole. It takes a lot of spin. You have to aim away from the ball pretty decent ways, or else you'll catch a double kiss on this 3, and it'll probably just sit up right there in front of Tony's pocket. Yeah, he's got to come to the short cushion. Yeah, if he gets in there too deep, he'll catch a double kiss. Oh, he went to the... Yeah, I didn't understand coming to the side rail there. It's just no room for error there. I'm not saying I didn't understand the thought of the shot. It was a doable shot, but you almost always have more room for error where, going to the rail where there's more room between the ball and the rail. You could see it was much closer to the side rail there, but Tony Chohan, after losing the lag, say it again, he's in a good position, the position he'd want to be in. Chance to break the balls and win the match. And really survive on into round 6 here at the 2020 Derby City Classic One Pocket Division. And got a little double kiss there on the bottom ball. Opened him up nice, but he would have liked the cue ball up on that rail. Possibly some options here for Evan. Not sure if he can get at the 8 very well. Maybe a portion of it, but if he could hit it pretty thick and bank it back and stall the cue ball maybe behind the 10 somehow, that'd be a nice shot. Yeah, that's the ball I'd want to shoot, I think. Even if I had to play it that way, that's what you want. Tony will just take either 4 most likely and run the cue ball 1 rail over to the side rail, I think. Trying to cut off the kick on the 10. I believe anyways. Now the one thing is he going to give up a play on the 5? Okay, he's going to 2-rail kick into something here, the stack, I guess. He wants to keep his position a little bit longer. Really good speed and worth the foul. Thing is, Evan, if he squeezes the cue ball in more, which he kind of has to, well, Tony may bank the 14 back and stick him up table or in the stack. He's got to maybe try and escape now, I think. A lot of people say, well, he's on 1 foul before you keep him in the stack, but it's easier for Tony to escape when he's got all the balls near his pocket and you have none on your side. So better off you taking a little more command on what's going on and trying to get out of the situation. Both guys owe a ball now. It looks like some type of chip from the casino as a reminder that Evan's using. Okay. Tony really wanting to make sure he keeps him in that position that he's got him in. That's going to come up a little. Not bad, though. The 1 ball he did knock on Evan's side, he put it in a funny spot up by the side pocket. Little discussion between the guys on the balls they owe, I believe. Hear a little bit of it. I think probably that same 2-rail kick that Evan had, or a 1-rail kick maybe, to get up behind that 10 ball near Tony's pocket is probably the shot again. A lot of times it takes 2 or 3 of those you can see what happened last time. Tony gave you a little more air with the cue ball and put a ball on your side. So we'll see. Yeah, that's correct. I believe the new rules here at the one pocket is anytime the players each owe a ball, to speed up play, they'll both be taken back and go back to where they both just need 8 instead of both needing 9. And it's all right by me. I think they're tournament of this size, and so much going on, they had to think of a few things without really taking away much of the game. Okay, a little fortunate there. Really fortunate, but so Tony's got 1 to the good now. Like Tony's coming to the bottom rail again, maybe, but yeah, he spun that a lot. So it's going to get off the rail and probably give Evan a pretty good chance to get behind the 1. I might have challenged him there. I might have gone off the 9 and put him long and straight in that upper corner, long and straight on the 14, and let Evan see what he could do from there. Oh, he caught the 1 too. Wow, what a shot. Tony's got to be careful here. You always got to be careful. Great players do so much to you quickly. Tony, one of the best at those little ticky shots. He just wants a little air on the cue ball, that being Tony, I think, to challenge Evan. Pretty good again. Didn't really leave him much. It cost him 1. But he would gladly give that up to make Tony start to give up this position he has. Funny little shot right here. I think I'd do it again. I banked the, what is that, the 14 that he's near there. 15 ball, whatever it is, the stripe near the 12, and follow straight through on the other side of the 12. You could ticky it as well, but I might hit it more on the heavy side. Oh, he caught them both. That was probably not intended, but now it makes things even more difficult, I think, for Evan. He's got a soft kick at the 1 again. He doesn't want to keep fouling. But he also, if he did foul, and he gave him a little more air on the cue ball. So we'll see again if Tony wants to challenge Evan from up table somehow. I'm not sure he can. Uh-oh. Well, he didn't get the kiss. Okay. Don't think the 5 really banks. So again, just a 1 rail kick on the 1, bump it up, try to freeze it maybe, I don't know. Got away from him a little bit. Okay, so here's where I use the 9. I drop off the 9, I believe. Maybe he's playing the 2 back off the 5 at his hole, something like that. I'm trying to 2 rail the 5 as well. Look like they laid kind of funny here. He's going to have to soft kick at the 1 again, I believe. Not much else he can do. And again, it's getting to where that challenge up table to me is looking, and that's another foul, I believe, is looking more appetizing. Only looking at a kick bank here. I think maybe soft kick at the 14. That leaves a real funny angle. Maybe I'll let him see the 1, but he's on the rail over there. He can't do a whole lot with it without taking a lot of chance. 1 rail kick off the bottom rail on the 12 towards your hole is another shot, but Okay, important to freeze him there, though. Still left him pretty funny. I may shoot the 2 off the 1 right here and clear 2 balls and just stop my cue ball. I don't believe the 14 or 15 ball near banks at all, the 15 with the 12 being in the way. Just make sure you don't let him see the 12 and try and remove 2 balls. Yeah, right there, just shoot the 2 into the edge of the 1. Let the 1 just trickle up. The 2 ball will 2 rail wrap around the 15 ball and just stop the ball there. I think it's okay. Good soft kick underneath these again. Nothing wrong with that either. Just a little slower process. Oh, he tried to bank it in maybe, huh? That was pretty nifty, actually. Didn't realize that was possible. Thought he had to lose the cue ball to do that. Got the 2. Again, the 9's open. I like him just shaving off the 9 here and putting him pretty kind of flat and straight on the 14, I think. Tony got the balls in position. Now's when you keep it real simple and let your opponent try to escape more than you trying to do so much, I think, anyways. The 14's not a scary shot. I mean, Evan can shoot at it, but if I'm Tony, I'm not too worried about it. He could even 2-rail the 9 if he wanted, but I like just ticking off his left side of the 9, going to the side rail and dropping him anywhere in between pocket and the first diamond there on the end rail. Makes it very difficult to maneuver from there. Get him on the rail, very hard for him to clear balls out. So you get balls in position playing this game so you can do simple moves and still keep a lot of heat and frustration on your opponent. Here, this kick bank is so appetizing and looks so good to Tony. Now he's 2-railing the 9, I think, but you're going to lose the cue ball more when you do that. So I think this is the shot I liked. I liked it a while back, even better. This is good, and you can see he didn't even freeze him or anything, but still very difficult situation. Now Evan's going to probably have to look at trying to play something a little aggressive back, like the 11 ball bank towards his hole, or is that the 13? Excuse me. That's the 13, but might have made that. Great shot. Kind of got so-so position on everything. The 9 he's near, but difficult cutback shot to the upper corner. You can do the same with the 11. Sure, if I'm going to shoot one of them, I sure want to gain position, so don't want to end up like around the opposite, the head spot, just kind of with nothing after making such a great shot. And he's queuing this up. He's got to draw it a little bit, I believe. Maybe he can hit it with a high ball and just ease it in. It's got to go. Hit it great. Does not want to give Tony Chohan a rail first, like on the 1. Tony really excels at the rail first shots. Okay, does Tony try to get this 9 and move the cue ball? Make the 9 for Evan and move the cue ball somewhere safe, or lay it right there? Maybe trying to get this out. Again, ball's laid really nice for Tony. His opponent 0-2 and trying to still do a lot. I didn't mind the shot so much. I mean, it's just a situation for the shot, maybe. Well, Evan can't afford to not get position and get snookered or get stuck up table somehow, so he's probably got to draw into the bottom of this ball here, that being the 12, like that, and make a decision from there. Could have used a little more kiss off the cue ball, freed it up a little bit. He probably tries to move a ball or two on his side here. You're looking at a bank combination here. This is a hard one to make when the ball's so above the first ball like that. If that's the one ball, it usually banks short. Got to cut it quite a bit because there's a lot of friction in between the cue ball, the first ball, and then when it contacts the second ball. So very, very hard combination bank to be accurate on. Sounds like it's hard to be accurate on a lot of combination banks, but a lot of them lay nice, and just the physics behind them lay a little more simple. This one here, a lot of guesswork. Wouldn't be surprised if he double banked this back in front of Tony's hole. And it did bank short a little bit, but he did a lot with the cue ball, so some value there. Knowing one was going to come on the spot. Tony going to try and cross corner this. Nicking the ball going up into the 14. I kept the banks covered up somewhat as well. Yeah, he can ease the 6 across, it looks like to me, and be okay. Yeah, just like that. So Evans gotten himself back into this game after what looked kind of rough. 0-3 balls. Tony had one. The balls were in Tony's position pretty good. Now Tony's in a funny spot just to run the cue ball safe here. Can't just get below the 6. He might give up a bank on the 1, so he's got to do something a little more special. Curving this ball. He put a lot of speed into that. And he's going to get a little bit safe. He's going to give up a bank on the 6, but all things considered, he caught one rail, then the ball, and then 3 more rails going through a lot of traffic. Even though he's giving up a cross corner and one that gives up a lot of balls, especially if he can get on the 12 here, Tony's got to be pretty happy, actually. Okay, just kind of cinched it, but now it's going to be hard to get position besides the 11. You go 3 rails here. I don't mind 3 rails if you're comfortable with it. Drawing the ball with a little low right English. I think that's the shot. He could come 1 rail across. He could come 2 rails inside it in between the 4 and the 11. I don't think that's the route, but could. Speed's got to be really good coming at that angle. Yeah, that's where he's looking at now. Surprised he doesn't want to pull this ball 3 rails, side rail, top rail, short rail, and then the long rail on the other side, back side of the 11. He can drop on the 11 nice. Other than straight in, he can pop over for the 14 or come down for the 12. He can cue the ball pretty nice as well. That speed looks pretty nice. Like I said, anything other than straight in, and even if he falls straight, he can draw his ball for the 14. Back with some low left English. And he went down to look to see if there were any banks available, and tells me he may have fallen pretty straight on this 11. Said though, with low left, he can draw back for the 14. You wouldn't stop the run with that shot, I don't think. I think you're going to try and do that. Yeah, like that. Wow, that one's really took off. He may end up in a bad spot here. Yeah, very bad. Gonna have to just ticky this ball and stay there, I believe. if that's even available. Tony's going to elevate and send that ball towards his pocket, and he may make one here. Not take any time doing it either. Didn't realize that Evan still owed one. Ooh, and the one ball looks like it got covered up a portion of it also. Things are going to be difficult here for Evan. Not sure he can shoot at the 7. If the 8's clear, if the 8 clears the 5 and is going to the low rail, you may see him shoot straight at the 7, playing the 7 off the 8, back towards his side and towards his pocket. And the 8 could come back up off a ball and sell out, but unlikely. And you could hold the cue ball behind the stack. Now, if the 8's going into the 5, he might still shoot it anyways, thinking the 8's going to clear out of there. But it makes it much more risky. But he's in a bad spot. It's not easy to just knock the 14 away and hold below the 1. It's not easy. Can't get at all the 1. That's why he's looking at playing the 14 into the 1 maybe. Trying to clear them both that way. Evan and Tony both know the situation that it's just one shot for either one of these guys, the way the balls are positioned to be able to possibly get out, especially Tony. All the balls being on his side now, you'd have to open some, but you can see they're near, so possibly wouldn't take much. He's looking at a 9-12 now. Does that play back and hold the ball like with a soft draw stroke from some 7 feet away? Yeah. I don't think he can run the ball unless he plans on kissing the 1 with the cue ball, but yeah, he's elevating with us, like I said, a soft draw stroke. He's got that stroke. Evan does. Got a hell of a touch. I'd still be looking at that 7 off the 8. Even if it goes into the 5, if it doesn't go into it super heavy, I think the 8 still escapes there, and you can hold the cue ball. Even though the 5 moves a little bit, I don't think it's bad. I think it's actually an easier stroke shot. You get to put a little more on it than this shot that he's looking at now. Is he looking at the bank and the kiss at the same time? Well, there's no element of safety there. He's got a double up also. He can maybe cross corner the 14 lightly towards his hole. Maybe not play it over at his hole. Run the cue ball a couple rails up to the end rail. Not great, but it's something. I really like something to do with the 7, I think. Looks like he's just lightly hitting the 4, and he's got to be careful not to get stuck here. And he's going to 0-1 off of that one. And what I mean is that ball that's near the 3, I believe it's the 13. Could be the 11, but he could get, that ball could get hit across, and then, no, there's the 11, so it is the 13. That ball could get knocked across, and he could get stuck on them balls and be in a bad position. That being Evan. Is Tony looking to lightly open something and try and slide the cue ball across? He's got to be careful there. You're not going to get anything near the hole, and you could easily give up a bank on the 1. Or I like this option a lot more. Just ticky this. And real important to get him on the rail, though. It's going to be a little light. That's going to be upsetting. Not saying it's going to sell out necessarily from here, but we would like to think he wanted it cue ball up near that rail, making any kind of shot that Evan shoots twice this distance almost and more difficult. Okay, he's trying to play the 4 into the 14. Watch out, though. This is delicate with the other ball. All right, he's playing it light. And the way the 3 and the 13 sit just scares me if I'm Evan. That Tony's gonna figure out some kind of way to play something across and stick me on the balls. And even if one goes near my hole a little bit, it's not the biggest deal in the world because I'm stuck to the balls. So, and that's the shot I was talking about. I would have been definitely worried about that. Now he's got a combination on the 4-14 he's got to worry about. Got an 11 ball that sticks out, or 13, excuse me, that sticks out over near Tony's pocket. He's got to edge the 3 and drop down below on the short rail here. Got to do it where Tony doesn't get some double bank on the 13 or like here. Like Tony's probably, unless the 11 sits even better, he's probably double banking the 13 here. If he doesn't double bank the 13, he's definitely got something better. So that's how good this ball lays. That's why it's real concerning getting the ball to the rail. There you go. So it's the little ticky shots a lot of times that get you, ladies and gentlemen, because those require a lot of detail as well. You may see him shoot the 14 here. I'm not sure what's available. I think the 5 goes. If the 5 goes, I got to shoot the 5. Especially with the 4-14 combination that looks, or 4-15 combination that looks possible also. Ooh. Almost didn't get anything. He's got a cutback shot on the 8 now. He's going to shoot it. Didn't really draw his ball there, though. Kind of just stunned it. Better watch this draw on this one also. He's got to kind of go through this a little. Yeah, like that. Tony's got such a nice touch, too, especially with the spin. Pretty straight in on the 12, I believe. Tony needed this win to advance in this tournament. He looks like he's probably going to get it done. Needing 3 to win the match. Evan Lunda has won his first 4, so he'll be back for round 6. He's got to come up and get on the 7, I believe. Got plenty of angle. Just going to make sure what the count is. That's got to go a little bit. It's pretty good. Real nice, actually. So Tony Chohan defeats Evan Lunda, gives Evan his first loss, and Tony survives here in the 2020 Derby City Classic 1 Pocket Division. Both these guys will be back in, round number 6, I believe. Anyways, thanks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jeremy Jones for Railbirds TV. Have a good night.